Hello everyone, it's Rose, and I'm back with another unboxing. This is something that I purchased during the Black Friday sale on AliExpress, and it is from the Le Zin store, X-I-N, L-E-X-I-N store. And I bought, oops, I think I cut into one of the bags. Oh well, that's all right. This is 3 special shapes diamond paintings that I bought. And yeah, I did cut into this bag, so I'll just tape that up. Yeah, 3 diamond paintings. Let's open the first one in this video then. So before anything else, I'm just going to tape up the part that I cut open. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, good. And then let's get into it. So that's the item number there, R8030. I know there are some people who like to know the item numbers. And ta-da! Oh, actually, I don't know why I cut that, why I wrapped that up. I don't keep these. I keep these flat after I open them. Okay. So let's first take a look at the kit. It's a single placer, couple, well, it looks like 4 bags, maybe 3 bags, little piece of wax and a green tray. I'll just stick that into my bag o' trays, also known as my kit bag. Okay, so this one here, I call the Lots of Red Cabuchons because there are a lot of red cabochons on this. So let me just find that. There we go. Okay, so this is the 293rd diamond painting I've ordered. Just stick that there. Okay, so let's take a look at how big it is. So the drill area, well, the area that you would want to frame is 24 centimeters by, hold on, that's inches, by 24 centimeters. So that is 9 and just under 9.5. So you'd be looking probably for a 10-inch square frame for this, and you'd have to find something to some pretty washi tape or just whatever, something to put around the edges if you wanted to put it in a 10-inch square frame. Okay, so this has 12 colors, which is acceptable for a special shapes diamond painting. It's a mandala, and I really like mandalas, and I find that they're just super soothing to do, and they make me happy. So that's why I get them. All right, so this one I ordered on November 29th. It was shipped on November 30th, and I received it on December 23rd. So that's not too bad, given it's, the beginning of winter and Christmas time. So, everybody's postal services would have been crazy busy. Pretty happy with that. Okay, so this item on the Le Zin store was $5, no, wait a minute, $6.61 before discount, and I got a I got a 63-cent discount. So I only paid $5.98 for this, which I think is great. Yeah, I think it's just super. So let's take a look at the drills. This is always the fun part for the special shapes diamond paintings. And this one is going to have some gorgeous colors on it. I loved it when I saw the image. It was like, oh yeah, definitely going to get that. And I think I saw it in other stores, but what I did for the 9/11 or for the 11/11 and the Black Friday sale. And what I'm going to do going forward is, you know, whenever I find images that I like, I put them in my cart. And then what I do is I go through my cart, and because sometimes I've bookmarked the same, like I've wish listed the same image, and I find the one that's cheapest and I buy that one. Unless, like if it's something like this, there's no question. If it's a special shapes or something like that, because essentially they're all exactly the same. Sometimes I will, like if they're not special shapes, if they're square drills particularly, then I might pay more to get a better company, a company that's got a better reputation, either that I've dealt with before or whatever. So like for diamond paintings that I buy because I really want to do them, either to give away or whatever, I have a few stores that I focus on, and that's where I ordered all my stuff from. For the diamond paintings that I buy, because yeah, I like the image, but I want to try out a store for the channel, I'm a little bit less fussy, and so I'll try different stores, and I'll go according to price often. Okay, so let's put the flash on. There we go. So this one I call almost like a watermelon color. Beautiful crystal drill. There's a little straggler in there from something else. And then this one is like raspberry almost. It's beautiful, beautiful deep pink. And then this lovely sort of golden yellow and this beautiful blue. There's a lot of that. And then we have this almost, it's not quite ice blue. It's almost like a baby blue or a sky blue. Oh, look at that. That's just beautiful. It doesn't shine as much as it does in real life through the camera, but this is just beautiful. They're orange with a polychromatic coating, so you get the pink and you get a little bit of green in there sometimes. Just beautiful. And then we have these Cabuchons teardrops, and they're orange with a little bit of opalescent coating on it. Ooh, this, oh, so pretty. Oh, wow. Okay, these are blue and purple and almost like black, the way they shine. Just gorgeous. I don't know if I've received these particular ones before, but they're faceted and they're raindrop shaped or tear shaped. Love that. And then here we have just clear crystal seed drills, faceted, and those are going to sparkle like mad in the sun. Like it's a very cloudy day here today. Now there is the light from the camera, but these things are sparkling like crazy. You don't get the total effect through the camera. And then here we have these long seeds, and these are a baby blue, and they are faceted. And they're also super sparkly. They take on almost like a pink sheen with the coating that's been put on those. So they're kind of pink and blue, or a light purple and blue. Very, very pretty. It's going to make for a stunning... hold on. Where are the red cabochons? All right, I'm going to show you the rest of these. I might have put the wrong name on this. Okay, so then we've got these blue, teeny tiny little seeds. Now they're not the tiniest of seeds, but they're very small. They are they faceted? I can't really tell. It's hard to tell if they're faceted. I don't think they are. I think they're cabochons. Oh yeah, there's some faceting on them. Yeah, they are faceted. Maybe you can tell that better through the camera than I can just with my eyes. And then we have these beautiful blue cabochons. Round, domed, beautiful. Okay, I want to check to make sure that this is in fact what I think it is. Yeah, it is. And I call it lots of red cabochons, but there's actually no red in this. Isn't that funny? The impression that you get from the picture is red, but I guess it's this raspberry. So talk about a misnomer. Okay, there you go. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to read the first chapter of a Harlequin romance instead of doing a normal drill and chat voiceover. If you like this, let me know, and I will continue with this book in upcoming drill and chats. If you don't like it, that's fine. Just skip ahead or put on something else that you do like. Well, hello everybody, it's Rose, and today is February 23rd, and I am going to take a break, and I'm going to do one of my little snacks. I'm doing this diamond painting that I call Lots of Red Cabuchons, and it is a special shapes that I picked up, I think, during the the Black Friday sale. So, let's see, where am I gonna, I'll do it here. Okay, so let me just find another color pen. Let's see what I got here. I thought I had a pink pen. I do have somewhere. I like to keep my pens. I like to use different, no, I don't want to use markers. I like to use different colored pens for writing the different diamond paintings that I'm working on, so I don't get them confused. All right, I found a pink pen. Hopefully it's brand new, so it should work, but it's an old one, so it might be dried out. I don't know, we'll see. So this is number 293, Lots of Red Cabuchons, special shapes, and today is 0223, started 20023. I'm trying to go fast, so I'm making all kinds of mistakes. And it is 8:55 p.m. Now I always try to do these in one shot. So I'll just do a time lapse for as long as it takes me to finish this. And then I will do a voiceover later when it's time to post it. So there we go. Day 1. I'll add my notes to it as I go along. Now I will be pausing from time to time because I have to fill up my cup and stuff like that. I'm drinking tea. I'm trying to stay hydrated. So yeah, I will get on with drilling now. The Magnate's Manifesto by Jennifer Hayward. Chapter 1. The day that Jared Stone's manifesto sparked an incident of international female outrage happened to be, unfortunately for Stone, a slow news day. By 5 a.m. on Thursday, when the sexy Silicon Valley billionaire was reputed to be running the trails of San Francisco's Golden Gate Park, as he did every morning in his connected free beginning to the day, his manifesto was dinner conversation in Moscow. In London, as chicly dressed female office workers escaped brick and steel buildings to chase down lunch, his outrageous State of the Union on 21st century women was on the tip of every tongue, spoken in hushed, disbelieving tones on elevator trips down to ground level. And in America, where the outrage was about to hit hardest, women who had spent their entire careers seeking out the C-suite only to find themselves blocked by a glass ceiling that seemed impossible to penetrate, stared in disbelief at their smartphones. Maybe it was a joke, some said.
Someone must have hacked into Stone's email, said others. Doesn't surprise me at all, interjected a final contingent, many of whom had dated Stone in an elusive quest to pin down the world's most sought-after bachelor. He's a cold bastard. I'm only surprised his true stripes didn't appear sooner. At her desk at 7 a.m. at the Stone Industries building in San Jose, Bailey St. John was oblivious to the firestorm her boss was creating. Intent on hacking her way through her own glass ceiling and armed with a steaming Americano with which to do so, she slid into her chair with as much grace as her pencil skirt would allow, harnessed a morning dose of optimism that today would be different, and flicked on her PC. She stared sleepily at the screen as her computer booted up, took a sip of the strong, acrid brew that inevitably kicked her brain into working order as she clicked on her mail program. Her girlfriend Aria's email titled OMG made her lift a recently plucked and perfected brow. She clicked it open. The hot sip of coffee she'd just taken lodged somewhere in her windpipe. Billionaire playboy ignites international incident with his manifesto on women, blared the headline of the variety news site everyone in Silicon Valley frequented. Leaked tongue-in-cheek manifesto to his fellow mates makes Stone's views on women in the boardroom and bedroom blatantly clear. Bailey put down her coffee with a jerky movement and clicked through to the manifesto that had already generated 2 million views. The truth about women, which apparently had never been meant for anyone other than Jared Stone's inner circle, was now the salacious entertainment of the entire male population. As she started reading what was unmistakably her boss's bold, eloquent tone, she nearly fell off her chair. Quote, having dated and worked with a cross-section of women from around the globe, and having reached the age where I feel I can make a definitive opinion on the subject matter, I have come to a conclusion. Women lie. They say they want to be equals in the boardroom, when in reality, nothing has changed over the past 50 years. Despite all their pleas to the contrary, despite their outrage at the limits the so-called glass ceiling puts on them, they don't really want to be hammering out a deal, and they don't want to be orchestrating a merger. They want to be home in the house we provide, living the lifestyle to which they've become accustomed. They want a man who will take care of them, who gives them a hot night between the sheets and diamond jewelry at appropriate intervals, who will prevent them from drifting aimlessly through life without a compass. Unquote. Drifting aimlessly through life without a compass? Bailey's cheeks flamed. If there was any way in which her life couldn't be described, it was that. She'd spent the last 12 years putting as much mileage between her and her depressing low-income roots as she could, doing the impossible and obtaining an MBA before working herself up the corporate ladder. First at a smaller Silicon Valley startup, and then for the last 3 years at Jared Stone's industry darling of a computer electronics company. And that was where her rapid progression had stopped. As director of North American sales for Stone Industries, she'd spent the last 18 months chasing a vice president position Stone seemed determined not to give her. She'd worked harder and more impressively than any of her male colleagues, and it was generally acknowledged that the VP job should have been hers, except Jared Stone didn't seem to think so. He'd given the job to someone else, and that hurt coming from the man she'd been dying to work for, the resident genius of Silicon Valley. Why didn't he respect her as everyone else did? Her blood heated to a furious level, bubbled and boiled and threatened to spill over into an expression of uncontrolled rage. Now she knew why. Because Jared Stone was a male chauvinist pig, the worst of a Silicon Valley breed. He was horrific. She forced a sip of the excessively strong Java into her mouth before she lost it completely and slammed the cup back down on her desk, flicked her gaze back to her computer screen and the rules on women Jared had also gifted the male population with. Quote, "Rule number 1, all women are crazy. And by that I mean they think in a completely foreign way from us that might as well come from another planet. You need to find the least crazy one you can live with, if you elect to settle down, which I'm not advocating, mind you. Rule number 2, every woman wants a ring on her finger and the white picket fence, no matter what she says. Not a bad thing for the state of the nuclear family or for you if you're already on that trajectory. But for God's sake, know what you're getting yourself into. Rule number 3, every woman wants a lion in the bedroom. She wants to be dominated. She wants you to be in complete control. She doesn't want you to listen to her needs. So stop making that mistake. Be a man. Rule number 4, every woman starts the day with an agenda, a cause, an item to strike off her list, the inescapable conclusion of a campaign she's been running. It could be a diamond ring, more of your time, your acknowledgement that you will indeed agree to meet her mother. Whatever it is, take it from me. Just say yes or say goodbye. And know that saying goodbye might be a whole hell of a lot cheaper in the long run." Unquote. Bailey stopped reading for the sake of her blood pressure. Here she'd been worrying that the personality conflict she and Jared shared, which, admittedly, was intense, was the problem. The thing that had been holding her back. Their desire to rip each other apart every time they stepped foot in a boardroom together was legendary within the company. But that hadn't been it. No, in actual fact, he disrespected the entire female race. She'd never even had a chance. 3 years, she fumed, scowling at her computer screen as she pulled up a blank document. 3 years she'd worked for that egocentric jerk, racking up domestic sales of his wildly popular cell phones and computers. For what? It had all been a complete waste of time in a career in which the clock was ticking. A CEO by 35, she'd vowed, although that vision seemed to be fading fast. She pressed her lips together and started typing. "To whom it may concern. I can no longer work in an organization with that pig at the helm. It goes against every guiding principle I've ever had." She kept going, wrote the letter without holding back, until her blood had cooled and her rage was spent. Then she did a second version that she could hand in to HR. She wasn't working for Jared Stone. For that beautiful, arrogant piece of work. Not 1 minute longer, no matter how brilliant he was. Jared Stone was in a whistling kind of mood as he parked in the Stone Industries lot, collected his briefcase, and made his way through the sparkling glass doors. A 5-mile run through the park, a long hot shower, a power shake, and a relatively smooth commute could do that for a man. He hummed a bad version of a song he'd just heard on the radio as he strode toward the bank of elevators that ran up the center of the elegant, architecturally brilliant building. When life was this good, when he was on top of his game, about to land the contract that would silence all his critics, cement his control of his company, he felt impermeable, impenetrable, unbeatable, as if he could leap tall buildings in a single bound, solve all the world's problems, bring about world peace even, if given the material to work with. A gilded ray of brilliance for all to follow. He stuck his hand between the closing elevator doors and gained himself admittance on a half-filled car. Greeted the half-dozen employees inside with the megawatt smile the press loved to capture, and made a mental note of who was putting in the extra effort coming in early. Gerald from finance flashed him a swaggering grin as if they shared an inside joke. Jennifer Thomas, PA to one of the vice presidents, who was normally a sucker for his charm, did a double take at his friendly good morning and muttered something unintelligible back. The woman from legal, what was her name, turned her back on him. Strange. The weird vibe only got worse as the doors opened on the executive floors and he made his way through the still quiet space to his office. Another PA gave him the oddest look. He looked down. Did he have the power shake on the front of his shirt? Toothpaste on his face? Power shake stains ruled out, he frowned at his 50-something PA, Mary, as she handed him his messages. What is wrong with everyone today? The sun is shining, sales are up. Mary blinked. You haven't been online, have you? You know my theory on that, he returned patiently. I spend the first couple of hours of my day finding my center. 7:30 is soon enough to discover what craziness has befallen the world. Right, she muttered. Well, you might want to leave your Buddhist sojourn by the wayside and plug in quickly before Sam Walters arrives. He'll be here at 11. Jared brought his brows together at the mention of the chairman of the Stone Industries Board. I have nothing scheduled with him. You do now, she said. Jared, She set her pen down and gave him a direct look. Your document, your manifesto, was leaked on the internet last night. He felt the blood drain from his face. He'd only ever written 2 manifestos in his life. One when he'd started Stone Industries and put down his vision for the company, and the second, the private joke he'd shared with his closest friends last night after a particularly amusing guys' night out on the town. It had not been intended for public consumption. From the look on Mary's face, she was not talking about the Stone Industries manifesto. What do you mean, leaked? He asked slowly. She cleared her throat. The document, the whole document, is all over the net. My mother emailed it to me this morning. She asked what I was doing working for you. The thought crossed his mind that this was all impossible because his buddies would never do that to him. Not over a joke intended for their eyes only. Had someone hacked into his email? He looked down at the wad of messages in his hand, his chest tightening. How bad is it? Her lips pursed. It's everywhere. Thinking he might finally have taken his penchant for stirring things up too far, he knew it for the truth when his mentor and advisor, Sam Walters, walked into his office 3 hours later. Jared's legal and PR teams behind him. The 65-year-old financial genius did not look amused. Jared waved them into chairs and attempted a preemptive strike. Sam, this is all a huge misunderstanding. We'll put out a statement that it was a joke, and it'll be gone by tomorrow. His vice president of PR, Julie Walcott, lifted a brow. We're at 2 million hits and climbing, Jared. Women are threatening to boycott our products. This is not going away. He leaned back against his desk, the abdomen he'd worked to the breaking point this morning contracting at his appalling lack of judgment in ever putting those words on paper. But one thing he never did was show weakness, particularly not now when the world wanted to eat him alive. What do you suggest I do? He drawled with his usual swagger. Beg women for their forgiveness? Get down on my knees and swear I didn't mean it? Yes. He gave her a disbelieving look. It was a joke between friends. Addressing it gives it credence. It's now a joke between you and the entire planet, Julie said matter-of-factly. Addressing it is the only thing that's going to save you right about now. The sick feeling in his stomach intensified. Sam crossed his arms over his chest. This has legal implications, Jared. Human rights implications. And furthermore, as I don't need to remind you, David Gagnon's daughter is a charter member of a women's organization. She will not be amused. Jared's hands tightened around the wooden lip of his desk. He was well aware of Micheline Gagnon's board memberships. The daughter of the CEO of Europe's largest consumer electronics retailer, Maison Electronique, with whom Stone Industries was pursuing a groundbreaking 5-year deal to expand its global presence, was an active social commentator. She would not be amused, but really, it had been a joke. He let out a long breath. "Tell me what we need to do." "We need to issue an apology," Julie said. "Position it as a private joke that was in bad taste. Say that it has nothing to do with your real view of women, which is actually one of the utmost respect." "I do respect women," he interjected. "I just don't think that they're always honest with their feelings." Julie gave him a long look. "When's the last time you put a woman on the executive committee?" "Never." He raked a hand through his hair. "Give me a woman who belongs on it, and I'll put her there." "What about Bailey St. John?" Sam lifted his bushy brows. "You seem to be the only one who thinks she hasn't earned her spot as a VP. Jared scowled. "Bailey St. John is a special case. She isn't ready. She thinks she was born ready, but she isn't." "You need to make a gesture," Sam underscored, his tone taking on a steely edge. "You are on thin ice right now, Jared. In all respects," his mentor's deeply lined face seemed to suggest. "Give her the job. Get her ready." "It's not the right choice," Jared rejected harshly. "She still needs to mature. She's only 29, for God's sake. Making her a VP would be like setting a firecracker loose." Sam lifted his brows again as if to remind him how sparse his support on the board was right now. As if he needed reminding that his control of the company he'd built from a tiny startup into a world player was in jeopardy. His company. "Give her the job, Jared." Sam gave him an even look. "Smooth out her raw edges. Do not blow 10 years of hard work on your penchant for self-ignition." Antagonism burned through him, singeing the tips of his ears. He'd stolen Bailey from a competitor 3 years ago for her incredibly sharp brain, for the potential he knew she had, and she hadn't disappointed him. He had no doubt he'd one day make her into a VP, but right now, she was the rainbow-colored cookie in the pack. You never knew what you were going to bite into when she walked into her room, and he couldn't have that around him. Not now. Sam gave him a hard look. "Fine," Jared rasped. He'd figure out a way to work the Bailey equation. "What else?" "Cultural sensitivity training," his head of legal interjected. "HR is going to set it up." "That," Jared dismissed in a low voice, "is not happening. Next." Julie outlined her plan to rescue his reputation. It was solid, what he paid her for, and he agreed with it all, except for the cultural sensitivity training, and ended the meeting. He had way bigger fish to fry. A board's support to solidify. His own job to save. He paced to the window as the door closed behind the group, attempting to digest how his perfect morning had turned into the day from hell. At the root of it all, the abrupt end to his relationship with his trustworthy 10 o'clock p.m. of late, Kimberly McKenna. A logical accountant by trade, she'd sworn to him she wasn't looking for anything permanent. So he'd let his guard down, let her in. Then last Saturday night, she'd plopped herself down on his sofa, declared he was breaking her heart, and turned those baby blues on him in a look he'd have sworn he'd never see. "Get serious, Jared," they said. He had. By 10 a.m. on Monday, she'd had his trademark diamond tennis bracelet on her arm, and another one had bitten the dust. He'd been sad and maybe a touch lonely when he'd written that manifesto. But those were the rules. No commitment. His mouth twisted as he pressed his palm against the glass. Maybe he should have given his PR team the official line on his parents' marriage. How his mother had bled his father dry. How she'd turned him into half a man. It would have made him much more sympathetic. Better yet, he thought. Julie could devote more of her time to controlling the industry media that wanted to lynch him before he'd even gotten his vision for Stone Industries' next decade off the ground. When you'd parlayed a groundbreaking new personal computer created on your best friend's dorm room floor into the most successful computer electronics company in America, a NASDAQ gold mine, you didn't expect the naysayers to start calling for the CEO's head as soon as the waters got rough. You expected them to trust your vision, radically different though it might be from the rest of the industry, and assume you had a plan to revolutionize the connected home. A harsh curse escaped his lips. They would rather tear him down than support him. They were carnivores waiting for the kill. Well, it wasn't going to happen. He was going to go to France, tie up this exclusive partnership with the Maison Electronique, cut his competitors off at the knees, and deliver this deal, signed and sealed, to the board at his must-win executive committee meeting in 2 weeks. All he had to do was present his marketing vision to David Gagnon and secure his buy-in, and it was a done deal. Spinning away from the window, he stalked to the door and growled a command at Mary to get Bailey St. John in his office now. He would promote her all right, but he wasn't a stupid man. He would leave himself a loophole, so when she proved herself too inexperienced for the job, he could put things back where they belonged until she was ready. His last call was to his head of IT. Whoever had hacked into his email was going to rue the day they'd crossed him. He promised them that. Bailey had cooled her heels for 15 minutes outside Jared Stone's office, resignation in hand, when Mary finally motioned her in. Her ability to appear civil at an all-time low, she pushed the heavy wooden door open and moved into the intensely masculine space. Dominated by a massive marble-mantled fireplace and floor-to-ceiling windows, it was purposefully minimalistic, focused like its owner, who preferred to roam the hallways of Stone Industries and work alongside his engineers instead of sitting at a desk. He turned as her heels tapped across the Italian marble, and as usual, when she was within 10 feet of him, her composure seemed to slide a notch or two. She might not pursue his assets like every other female in Silicon Valley, but that didn't mean she could ignore them. The piercing blue gaze he turned on her now was legendary for divesting a woman of her clothes faster than she could say, "Only if you respect me in the morning." And if that didn't do it for you, then his superbly toned body in the exquisitely tailored suit and his razor-sharp brain would. He supplemented his daily running routine with martial arts, and there was a joke going around the valley that it was no coincidence his name was Stone, as in all night Jared Stone. Heat filled her cheeks as he waved her into a chair, his finely crafted gold cufflinks glinting in the sunlight. She started to sink into the sofa, obeying him like his mindless disciples, before she checked herself and straightened. "I'm not here to socialize, Jared. I'm here to resign." Resign? His usually husky, raspy tone held an incredulous edge. Yes, resign. She pushed her shoulders back and walked toward him, refusing to let the balance of power shift in his favor as it always did. When she was a few inches away from him, she stopped and lifted her chin, absorbing the impact of that penetrating blue gaze. "I'm tired of drifting aimlessly through this company with you lying to me about where I'm headed." His gaze darkened. "Oh, come on, Bailey. I would think you of all people could take a joke." She sank her hands into her hips. "You meant every word of that, Jared. And to think I thought it might be our personality conflict that's been holding me back." The corner of his mouth lifted, the scar that sliced through his upper lip whitening as skin stretched over bone. "You mean the fact that every time we're in a boardroom together, we want to dismantle each other in a slow and painful manner?" His eyes took on a smoky, deadly hue. "That's the kind of thing that gets me out of bed in the morning." The futility of it all sent her head into an exasperated shake. I think I've always known what your opinion of women is, but stupid me, I thought you actually respected me. I do respect you. Then why has everything I've done over the past 3 years failed to impress you? I was a star at my last company, Jared. You recruited me because of it. Why give Tate Davidson the job I deserved? You weren't ready, he stated matter-of-factly, as much in control as she was out of it. In what way? Your maturity levels, he elaborated, looking down his perfect nose at her. Your knee-jerk reactions. Right now is a good example. You didn't even think this through. Antagonism lanced through her, setting every limb of her body on fire. Oh, I thought it through all right. I've had 3 years to think it through. And forgive me if I don't take the maturity criticism too hard after your childish little stunt this morning. You wanted to make every male in California laugh and slap each other on the back? Well, you've succeeded. Good on you. Another 10 steps backward for womankind. His hooded gaze narrowed. I put women in the boardroom when they deserve it, Bailey, but I won't do it for appearance's sake. I think you're immensely talented, and if you'd get over this ever-present need to prove yourself, you'd go far. She refused to let the compliment derail her when he was never going to change. Pushing her hair out of her face, she glared at him. I've outperformed every male in this company over the past couple of years, and that hasn't been enough. I'm through trying to impress you, Jared. Apparently, the only thing that would is if I was a D-cup. His mouth tipped up on one side in that crooked smile women loved. I don't think there's a man in Silicon Valley who would find you lacking in any department, Bailey. You just don't take any of them up on it. The backhanded compliment made her draw in a breath, sent a rush of color to her cheeks, heating her all over. She'd asked for it, she really had, and now she had to go. Here, she said, shoving the letter at him, consider this my response to your manifesto. And believe me, this was draft 2. He curled his long, elegant fingers around the paper and scanned it. Then deliberately, slowly, his eyes on her, tore it in half. I won't accept it. Be glad I'm not filing a human rights suit against you, she bit out and turned on her heel. HR has the other copy. I'm giving you 2 weeks. I'm offering you the VP marketing job, Bailey. His words stopped her in her tracks. You've done a phenomenal job boosting domestic sales. You deserve the chance to spread your wings. Elation flashed through her, success after 3 long years of brutally hard work overwhelming her, followed almost immediately by the grounding notion of exactly what was happening here. She turned around slowly, pinning him to the spot with her gaze. Which member of your team advised you to leverage me? If she'd blinked, she would have missed the muscle that jumped in his jaw. But she didn't, and it made the anger already coursing through her practically flammable. You want me, she stated slowly, to be your poster child, your token female executive that you can throw in the spotlight to silence the furor. His jaw hardened, silencing the recalcitrant muscle. I want you to become my vice president of marketing, Bailey. Full stop. You've earned the opportunity. Now take it. Don't be stupid. We're due at David Gagnon's house in the south of France the day after tomorrow to present our marketing plan, and I need you by my side. She wanted to say no. She desperately wanted to throw the offer back in his face and walk out of here, dignity intact. But 2 things stopped her. Jared Stone was offering her the one thing she'd sworn she'd never stop working for until she got it. The chance to sit on the executive committee of a Fortune 500 company. And despite everything that he was, an impossible, arrogant, full of himself jerk, he was the most brilliant brain on the face of the planet. And everyone knew it. If she worked alongside him as his equal, She could write her ticket, ensure she never went back to the life she'd vowed to leave behind forever. Survival was stronger than her pride. It always had been. And men having all the power in her world wasn't anything unusual. She knew how to play them, how to beat them. And she could beat Jared Stone, too. She knew it. She stared at him. At the haughty tilt of his chin, it was almost irresistible to show him how wrong he was about her, about all women. This would be her gift to the female race. All right, on 2 conditions. His gaze narrowed. Double my salary and give me the title of CMO. We don't have a chief marketing officer. Now we do. His eyes widened, narrowed again. Bailey, we're done then. She turned away, every bit prepared to walk. Fine. His curt agreement made her eyes widen, brought her swinging back around. You can have both. She knew then that Jared Stone was in a great deal of trouble, and she was in the driver's seat. But her euphoria didn't last long as she nodded and made her way past Mary's desk. There was no doubt she'd just made a deal with the devil, and when you did that, you paid for it. That's the end of chapter 1. If you want me to continue with chapter 2, let me know, and I will post another video in the next day or 2. Well, okay, everybody, so I finished. It is 12:56, and what time did I start? I think it was 9:22 or something like that. 8:55. Okay, so it took 4 hours to do this. I took about a 20-minute break, so 20 minutes or half an hour break to upload a video, finish uploading a video. Yeah, so this is it. Now, the thing that I find the funniest about this is that from the picture that I saw, I called it lots of red cabuchons. There is not a single red stone on here. There's pink, there's yellow, there's blue, there's orange, and like the light green and stuff like that. There's not a single red stone on here. And I was thinking, maybe the blue cabochons are supposed to be red. But no, they're not. This is exactly what this diamond painting is supposed to look like. And it is awfully pretty. And once again, oh, wait a minute, I missed one cabochon. I missed a number 6 in the middle. Let's see. Hold on. I just noticed that now. So where is that? Yeah, there we go. All right, we'll fill that in right now. Oops. There we go. There we go. Okay, all done. Yeah, so it's very, very pretty. It is super sparkly. Every one of the stones is excellent. This is the only trash. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but I stopped because this one here has no pearlescent coating on it. All the others do. And I mean, probably nobody would have noticed, but I knew that I had some of these spare in my leftovers from other Special Shapes kits. So I went to exchange it, and this one now is trash. Yeah, so there you go. It's very pretty, very sparkly. It was fun to do, 4 hours. Yeah, it's remarkably sparkly. And I got to tell you, these diamonds, I wish I could make the flash even brighter. But let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on this. Put you under the light here, but zoom in a little bit more. These diamonds are so sparkly, and let me see if I can get up really close here. The crystal drills, they are remarkably good quality, like crazy good quality. They look incredible, and I didn't see a single one that was cupped. The only thing that's wrong with these here, I mean, this is the trash, and the only things that's wrong with these here is that, well, this one I think was the wrong color. This one here has no silvering on the bottom. I think this one is the same with no silvering. Nope, it's got silvering, so it's the wrong color. So those ones that are just the wrong color, they actually belong in the, oh, they got flipped out of here because I was putting them in my, what I call my mix drill container. But yeah, so there were actually only, I think about 3 drills that were bad, because the others were just, you know, how you always get stowaways. Well, these were all stowaways. Whoops. And let's see, is this a stowaway? No, that's a bad one. This one here, not sure you can see that, but the silvering, you can't see it. Okay, let me zoom back out a little bit. There. Okay, yeah. Ah! Okay, well, it's gone now, but the silvering was gone off it. So in total, 4 drills were trash from this diamond painting, which is really good. I had fun with it. I mean, I hope you guys had fun watching, and I would recommend this. It was from the Le Xin store, or I don't know how you pronounce that. It's Le Xin store on AliExpress. It's a 24 by 24. It's advertised as 30 by 30, but it's 24 by 24. And the item number is R8030. So let me just see here. So I got this 10-inch canvas that I was thinking would be good for mounting a diamond painting. And this, if I cut it, it will fit almost perfectly. And then I've got some blingy tape that I can put around it so that to hide the edges. So I won't cut it. I'll paint the outside to cover up this. And then what I've got is I have this tape that I picked up at Michael's, and with this I'll be able to cut a strip that'll go along the edge here, and most of it will just be wrapped around the edge of the stretched canvas, and voila, I will have a diamond painting framed and mounted. So that's pretty cool. I had fun with this. So the post-completion is done. This diamond painting is done. And the trash goes into the trash bucket. Now there's a new next step. And the new final step is, just a minute. So I just finished a small diamond painting. So I go into my bowl of pennies. Each one of them is marked with a number representing one of my small diamond paintings. I am not looking into the bowl, but I'm going to pick one. And it is number 253. So let's see what number 253 is. Okay, so I just checked my inventory, and 253 is my blue, gold, and white mandala. It's the third copy that I bought of that diamond painting because I guess I really like it, because every time I see it, I seem to buy it. So that is what's next up. I'll just make a note of that in my book so that I don't forget. Next up, number 253, blue, gold, and white mandala special shapes. Okay, so that's good enough. So that's the one I'll do next. Okay, everybody, thank you very much. Now I gotta get some, some hand sanitizer, and we'll just clean that off, and it'll be ready to put a new number on. So that's all I gotta say, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the drill and chat and the time lapse, and do please come back and visit with me again soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.